What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Second Floor Gardens, and today we're gonna be trying a little experiment. If you watched my last video, I gave y'all a quick tour of the patio and how everything is set up and all the plants that I have out there for the year 2025, specifically May of 2025. In that video, you saw that I had technically 3 different persimmon trees, but I have one specific persimmon tree that's still inside the container that it came in. For some reason, it's planted inside of a 1-gallon container. If you don't know, persimmon trees are like pecan trees in the sense that they have really long tap roots. So you can't keep something that has a tap root that's this long inside of a container that's this big and this wide, because then the tree's gonna suffer. So now what I'm gonna do is, matter of fact, let me show y'all. This is the size of the container that the persimmon tree is in. I believe this is it should be a 1 gallon. Yeah, this is a 1 gallon container. This is the size of the container that the persimmon tree is in right now. What we're gonna do is take it from this to this, right? So that's what we're gonna do. Now, I had the idea because I went to one of the garden stores looking for a pot that had a longer tap root, or they had bigger space for something with a longer tap root. And the lady said, well, you could just take some of the previous planters that you might have, laying around and stack those up and cut the bottoms out. But they just have to be different sizes. The issue is that I have some that are the same size. I don't have any that are different sizes. That's what kind of triggered, I can just get buckets, cut the bottoms out, stack them up, and now I have a larger planter. So now you can see the difference. I'm not sure if you can. Yeah, about right there. You can see the difference between what it's in and what it's gonna be in. It's like it's doubled basically. So that's what we're gonna do. This is my first time doing it, so I figured why not record it. So take y'all along with me. Let's go. Alright, y'all, so here's the plan. The plan is to take a drill bit and drill holes going all the way around the circle of the bucket. I got 3 buckets. I'm going to take the first 2 buckets and do this with. Take a drill bit, drill a hole all the way around here. Then I'm going to knock out that bottom. I'm going to do that for the first 2 buckets. That last bucket, I'm not going to do that with. The last bucket, I'm just going to drill drainage holes in the bucket so the water has a place to go. But my thought behind I'm going to do a smaller drill bit because, if you build something with a square, they sit flush together like that, right? They sit flush. If you do something with a circle, only part of the circle touches each other, right? And so there's still, if I drill holes going all the way around, there's going to have those, you can tell right here. See that space of bucket in between? It's going to be like that going all the way around the bucket. So my thought is if I use a small drill bit, that little triangle piece is going to be small enough to where I can probably take my Dremel and sand all that down. And I don't want to keep that there because whenever I repot my persimmon tree, I don't want those rough edges to be there and possibly damage the roots and things like that. So that's my plan. So I'm going to take, my thought is, and I might be wrong, my thought is to use a smaller drill bit. If I use a smaller drill bit versus one of the bigger drill bits, that little space in between it is going to be smaller and easier to handle. Even if I can't get it with my Dremel, they won't stick all the way out to where I might end up, nicking myself or nicking the root or something like that. So that's my plan. So let's go ahead and knock that out. Oh, I just realized I wasn't recording the first 20-something holes. But yeah, this shit better take forever. This will take a good little minute to knock this out. I had 2 buckets like this. So right now is 10:47. So let's see how long it is. So I can't put it down. Okay, let's try to start at 30. bigger body use, the bigger drum. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get that stuff out. Alright now. Cut everything out, cut the bottom out, and then I didn't anticipate these two pieces right here. I didn't anticipate these right here. I don't know why I've seen it on the a bunch of times, but I didn't account for that. But yeah, I did all that all the way around, knocked all that out, and then I got here. Well, in case you didn't know what I was using a real long flathead screwdriver. So I drilled it, used a small drill bit to get all that. Then I took a real long screwdriver and used that as a chisel, then took a rubber mallet and just knocked it all out. But then when I got here, I couldn't do that with it. So especially with my neighbors being downstairs, I didn't want to cause too much noise. But what I did I had a drywall saw. Just cut that out. On the other side, cut that out. Now you're thinking, let me just use it for the whole thing, because it's hard to. It was easy for this one. This one was hard to get because I couldn't get all the way around and kept catching on it. So that's why I didn't use that saw for the whole thing. So that's what that looks like. You got those done. Now it's time to drill the holes inside the third bucket. So remember the first two buckets that we did, we were just removing the bottom completely. On this bucket, we have to make sure we had our drainage holes. So I'm going to add some going around here, maybe 4 or 5 different holes. I have a 1-inch drill bit. I'm sorry, a 1/2-inch drill bit here. So I'm going to be drilling those holes here so the water has a place to drain. The holes have been drilled. So because I was using the 1/2 inch, I put more holes in there because the last thing you really want to do, you really don't want your plant to get waterlogged or wet feet. Like a lot of plants that we end up growing don't like having wet feet. So just make sure you have enough drainage holes. This is going to be enough. You'll see some people will put draining holes on the side. I prefer not to do that. One, because I still run the risk of cracking, depending on how old your bucket is, you run the risk of cracking the frame of the bucket. But also at the same time, for some reason, depending on the soil mixture that you end up having, sometimes if you go a long time without watering, you'll see that soil start to pull away from the actual sides whenever you try to water it. The water just runs straight down the sides of the bucket and just goes straight up those holes. But this is how I do mine, so that's that. Go to the edges that I have to kind of get rid of. So I just go back and blow, pick up another dribble bit. That should probably help get rid of. Well, that should help get rid of those edges. Okay, so I did what I said that I was going to do. I took my Dremel and grinded everything down so all this is real nice and smooth on the inside where all those pieces were at. It was Dremel, what did I use? 115 HP. That's the one that I used. And it looks like, so I used that to grind out everything that was down here. Smooth everything out. And if you're gonna go that route, please make sure you put you on some glasses and make sure you got a vacuum cleaner by, because it basically turns this, if you know how fine sawdust is, it turns this plastic into like powder dust. So you want to make sure that you have some glasses with that. It's going to get everywhere. It's going to get all over your hands, all over the floor, all over your clothes, everywhere. So make sure you do have that. But I have this. I've done both buckets. Next, what I'm going to do, while I was at Lowe's, I picked up some adhesive. Picked up some of that. So what I'm going to do is, first, before I do this, I'm gonna wash this out with some water so I can get all that debris out there. Wash this out, get it dry. Once I get it dry, I'm gonna take this and place it along the edges of buckets 2 and buckets 3. You don't need it for bucket 1 because bucket 1 is gonna be on top. Bucket 1 is gonna be sitting on top of bucket 2, which is gonna be this bucket, which is why we're gonna have the adhesive going all the way around. So we're gonna have it sitting there, and then we're also gonna put it on bucket 3. Bucket 3 is also the bucket that just has the drainage holes in them. We're gonna do the same thing, put the adhesive around the rim, get everything pressed down, and let everything sit and set, and then we'll be done. Oh, this right there. Take the very bottom one, do the same thing. Let's get another piece of napkin. Getting this, just know that this is very, I think the term technically is viscous. Like if it's loose, there's low viscosity. I know viscosity is the word, but I forgot how the chart goes. Anyway, just this stuff is loose. It's not gel. Like think of a very loose, runny. It's like regular. It's like regular super glue. It doesn't stick. It just runs. So you got to be very, it runs pretty quick. So you have to be very careful about it, which is why I think this might not work. If it does fail, that's because the adhesive just wasn't enough. They got that staple put this down there. So I'm hoping that works. I'm gonna set something on top of this to help push it down and kind of keep it stable. So that way I don't have anything to worry about. If it does fail, I'll at least know, hey, it's the glue's not working. Try something different. So that's gonna be the plan. Should be done in 3 hours. So I'll try to insert a picture. To show y'all what this looks like compared to the other container that the persimmon originally was in. And if I get to plant it, if it gets to repot the persimmon inside of here, then I'll show y'all what that looks like also. But that's what we got. So until next time, I love y'all. Remember, be safe. Don't be stupid.